Welcome aboard National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Welcome to the only reality TV show that gives you the skinny on what things really are. Okay? We speak the truth here. We don't talk, oh my God, it's unbelievable. Hey, it is. 4-0 start for the Eagles, man. Fantastic. You can only play who's in front of you. Not the greatest teams on the planet. But you can only play the teams that are in front of you. And they're out to a great start. And this is the first quarter poll of the season. The first 4 games. And they've done everything that is needed. And that is the most important thing, winning. You're 4-0. That's all you look at. This is not college football where you have to have a beauty pageant to look good each and every single week. It's not. You get the win. It could be 2-0. No one cares in the NFL. Get the win. Get the win. And that's where the Eagles are sitting at 4-0. Now, again, I look at who they've played. 5-9 total when it comes to the one-loss record that they've played. Not the standard bearing teams and the gold standard teams in the NFL. But again, it's not like a Buffalo Bills schedule, but they've beaten the teams that were put in front of them. Okay? LT goes, why do you feel a butt coming? Because keep it in reality here. I want to give you my takeaways first. 29-21. I thought the game would be close. I said 30-26. I thought the game would be close, and it was. Here are my takeaways. And by the way, I'll get to all of you. I promise. I ain't singing shit. I predicted you'd win. I'll get to all of your guys. Trust me when I tell you. It's a great team win. You're down 14. You never knew how this team would respond because they haven't been behind. They rallied back. They won. It was a great team win. That's a team win, okay? That's a great team win. You're down, bad weather, emotional, Doug Peterson coming home. Fantastic. That's exactly how you want to have your football team tested because you know what? You can't win the Super Bowl in September and in the first month of the season. You can lose it, though. And you've now started to prepare yourself for muscle memory. Being ahead in games, having to come from behind. This football team is starting to build up a library of different ways of winning football games. That's a good thing. You're preparing for December and January here, okay? It's a tough game to evaluate. So to sit here and have an evaluation on Jalen or some of the other players on the team, man, bad weather always, puts an asterisk on how you look at guys. Like the pick he threw, that's not a big deal. He's had one pass that was a bad pass in 4 games. Bad decision. I'm not holding anything against him. Okay, it's a weather game. And anytime you're in a weather game, you got to play in bad weather. I get it. I'm not saying that or giving him an excuse, but shit like that happens. So, again, Jalen Hurts, I thought he played, once again, as good as you possibly can play when it comes to the weather conditions and the emotions, the whole thing, getting to 4-0. I thought some of the coaching judgments in that game for the Eagles were questionable. You end up giving the ball back late because you go for it on 4th down. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers send your asses home with a stupid move like that. Okay? They send your ass home when you do something like that. Okay? You need to also look at the coaching issues. And I would say this one time too, and I happen to have watched the post-game show with Seth, and I happen to agree with Seth on Jonathan Gannon. I think Jonathan Gannon is still a decent and fair defensive coordinator. I don't think he's exceptional at all. I don't think he's creative at all. I think he's really getting great player production. How many people think Butch Davis is a great defensive coordinator? He won a Super Bowl. He was a DC with the Dallas Cowboys. Would you consider Butch a great coach? I played for Butch. Butch is a great D-line coach and a pretty decent college football coach. But as a defensive coordinator, he's got a ring. Dave Campo was a D coordinator in Dallas. I mean, he's a product of his players playing well. Nothing more. What did they blitz 4 or 5 times? I don't look at him and go like this. Jonathan Gannon is a great defensive coordinator. Sorry. His players are stepping up. He's a product of good players right now, which most coaches are. But I don't look at him and go, that's Jim Johnson 2.0, or that's Buddy. I still think the guy's soft, and I wouldn't want to play for him. I'd like to play for that group and in that huddle. But he's nothing. If I were a free agent, that would make me want to come and play for him. Miles Sanders was spectacular. He was spectacular. Okay? He was the star of the ball game. What a great football. We'll talk more about him. By the way, he's a free agent. And do you know that Miles Sanders right now is on pace for 1,513 yards? And you're going to let that guy walk out the building if he ends up having between 13 and 1,500 yards? Wow. Okay, Howie. Someone's got to go at the end of the year. Sayamalo, I thought he was playing great before he got hurt. The Mulata injury, too. Now you're starting to see the war of attrition start to hit the Eagles a little bit. We'll talk more about that as well. Hassan Reddick. It's about time you got off the bus, kid. It's about time you got off the bus. Shit, been waiting for you. Only took you to your 4th game. Way to go, kid. They needed you. You stepped up. You did your job. Congratulations. Now let's be consistent and not go the next 3 games dormant, and let's be an impact. In my opinion, great. Fantastic. One game. I'll tell you what, I'll give him a game and a half. Game and a half out of 4. I don't know if that's $15 million. Okay? I don't have to sing anything, Paul. I said the Eagles would win. I would say this to you, like I said, the injuries, this is some of my takeaways. The injuries now are starting to pile up a little bit. Okay? They're starting to pile up a bit. And once again, I'll get back to what I said in the open. Combined record for the teams the Eagles have beat are 5-9. I don't know. If you're talking to Dallas Cowboys and their 3-1 record is fool's gold, they play the same schedule that the Eagles play. They play lesser teams. Like everybody in the media is getting all excited about what Cooper Rush did to Washington. Washington is terrible. If you watch them versus Dallas, they were even worse. I thought the Eagles beat them up more. But I look at Dallas's 3-1 record and I go like this. I don't know. Am I really that impressed? I look at the teams that are in the AFC that are 3-1. Those guys play legitimate football teams each and every single week and contenders every week. How about this? Who's the biggest win? Let me say this to you also about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence's biggest win versus another team and another star quarterback is Justin Herbert. Who's Jalen's biggest opponent when it comes to facing an opposing quarterback? Kirk Cousins? That's his biggest win? I mean, Trevor Lawrence was a turnover machine. And that was because of what the Eagles did in that football game. But let's be candid here. How many and Doug Peterson's play calling in the rain, throwing the ball like that? Dude, what were you thinking? You were not prepared to play in that inclement weather like that. The Eagles were. Nick Sirianni outcoached Doug Peterson in that football game, in my opinion. They outcoached him because the mistakes that they made, they had 5 turnovers in the ball game. They were prepared to play. I thought the Eagles were much better prepared to play in that weather than what Jacksonville was. You're throwing the football. Your receivers were dropping them left and right. They were like drop machines. You needed to run the ball, and that's exactly what the Eagles did. By the numbers here even. Look at the first downs, 25-13. Here's something that is the most significant factor in the game here and why the Eagles really were able to end up winning this game and really, moving ahead and dominating them late, especially in the second quarter. They ran 77 plays to 46 plays. Okay? I mean, it's almost 2-1, the amount of plays that the Eagles ran against them. Total yards, another 400-yard week. Good for them, man. That's the way to get the offense moving in shitty weather like that. It held another team to under 275 yards in total offense, 219. That's pretty damn good, man. Ran the ball 210 yards to 71. Good. Turnovers 5-1. That's how you win ball games right there. Quarterback stats. Trevor Lawrence, 11-23, 174, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He was all over the joint. Did not think that they had a good game plan for him. And by the way, ball security, kid, when you're running in the rain, 2 hands. Let's go. That's a coaching error. Okay? I thought the Jags were the Eagles' biggest test. They were, but they're the Jags. They're 2-2. They are. There's nobody on the schedule that I would say maybe the Vikings are a playoff team. The Jags in the AFC, okay, let's see if they are a playoff team. I think there's one playoff team they've played, the Vikings. The rest of them, they're not playoff teams. Lions are 1-3 again. Travis Etienne, 8 carries, 32 yards. They've really done a nice job against the run. Miles Sanders, 27 carries, 134, 5 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Outstanding. I think he's the 3rd leading rusher in the NFC right now. Christian Kirk, dude, catch the football. 2 catches, 60 yards. And A.J. Brown, 5 catches for 95 yards. There's no doubt when you look at the stats and you look at the targets, A.J. Brown has clearly become Jalen Hurts' number 1 target. So I would say to you again, it's a tough game to evaluate because of the weather. Okay, it is. You can't look at Jalen's numbers, 16-35, 204, a pick. I mean, he got the win. There's no criticism at all in this game over Jalen and his performance. He made plays that he had to make. He made throws to keep drives going. That was a great team win. I mean, nothing more, nothing less. I wouldn't put an evaluation in that game and that pick, having only thrown a pick in that game and no touchdown passes. I wouldn't say anything negative at all about Jalen Hurts in this ball game. I wouldn't. Steven, apologize? No, he should apologize for us for stealing money at the beginning of the year. About time he got off the bus. Okay, about time. Look at 85. Devin Lloyd stinks. He was named the AFC Defensive Player of the Month. He stinks. Nice evaluation, kid. On to the Cardinals. Hey, Sills, you said you wouldn't do that. Talk about the schedule. I knew people will make an excuse. But okay, GT, you think they've played a quality schedule? You think they've played quality teams like the Bills and the Chiefs? You think they've played quality teams? Do you think they've played quality teams? I think the Jags are a quality team. I think the Vikings are a quality team. Okay? But they've played one potential playoff team so far. As a matter of fact, they haven't played a team that made the playoffs last year even. And I would make the point to you, they haven't played a team that's made the playoffs in the last 2 years. So, I mean, you're coming up to the Cardinals. This will be an interesting ball game. Do I think they're better? Who has? Xavier makes a great point. Xavier goes like this. Who has played a quality schedule? Okay. You know what? I should have wrote that down. Kansas City Chiefs 2022 schedule. Let's just use the Chiefs. Let's just use the Kansas City Chiefs as a team in a schedule. This is who they've opened against. Arizona, who you're playing this weekend, was a playoff team a year ago. The Chargers, the Colts, who were 9-8 last year, the Buccaneers. Let's take a look at the Bills. They just played the Bucs. You've not played anybody on your schedule near the Bucs. Not near them. Buffalo Bills 2022 schedule. Let's take a look at that.
The Bills will play the Steelers at New Era.
Let's take a look at their schedule, who the Bills have played out of the gate. Played the world champion Rams, and they beat them. They played Tennessee, who was the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. They played the Dolphins, who are now 3-1. They played Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. And they got Kansas City next. That's a schedule, my friends. Far cry from what you've played. Far cry. Sills this morning, this guy was talking about giving Jalen a fine B because, dude, I thought Jalen got an A in that game. It's bad weather. It's bad weather. Impossible to evaluate anybody when you got weather like that. There is absolutely no way I would give Jalen anything of a poor grade. He won the ball game, and it's absolute pathetic weather. Okay? Sills, it's starting to sound like hater Dan. No, realist Dan. Sileo was completely wrong about Reddick. Over one game? About time you think he's played $15 million worth of effort? Wow. You really don't have to be a really good player on your team, huh, Dominique? That's not hey, dude, that's not a football player that plays like Micah Parsons. $15 million? Absolutely not. Oh, yeah. Hey, congratulations. About time he got off the bus. About time he got off the bus. Dude, I would not want Hassan Reddick on my team as my edge rusher, my number 1 edge rusher. Absolutely not. Okay? I wouldn't. There's about 10 edge rushers I would take, 10, 15 edge rushers I would take over his ass. I would take a 36-year-old Von Miller over him, 37, whatever he is. Okay? Let me go into my topics now. Hassan Reddick. Hey, thanks for getting off the bus. It's an absolute about time you got off the bus. Oh, hey, look at Auto Service. So Auto, you think that you think Reddick is as good because he's got numbers. He's as good as Micah Parsons. Wow. So would you take Hassan Reddick over the kid in Washington, Chase Young? Let me see. You guys are idiots. Some of you. Dude, Hassan Reddick is probably the 4th best edge rusher in the he's not better than Thibodeau. I would take Chase Young, Micah Parsons, and Kayvon Thibodeau over him. Any day. Okay, Davey boy, you stick with your boy. Be on his 4th team by next year. Okay, since we've talked about this, let's do this. The Eagles have played teams that have a combined record of 5-9. Can you really be impressed with what they've done? Yes or no? First 4 weeks of the season, and it's a quarter poll. Are you impressed with what they've done? They're undefeated. I'm surprised. I wouldn't say impressed. I'm surprised. Okay? I'm surprised. Yes? Okay. Coop says yes. You're impressed. What's the most impressive thing that the Eagles have done in the first 4 weeks? What's been the most impressive? I'd like to know. The fact the Eagles have dominated large portions of every game so far says more about the Eagles than any other team that they've played. Great take, Ron. Great take. I'm impressed with how they went. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm impressed with the way that they have won ball games, different styles. They're able to win games running it. They have to throw it. That's a tough team to defend. That's the one thing that I'm impressed with, is that they could play to what their opponent's weakness is. If a team can't stop the run, remember what I told you on Friday? Run the ball, dude. Jacksonville, run the ball right at them. You're going to be in bad weather, run the ball. And they did. They dominated, and they took that team apart, basically running the ball for another 200-yard performance. Very good. 400 total yards in every game, Matthew, is exceptional. And when you're able to put 400 yards up in bad weather like that, very good. We don't need you to be impressed. Okay. Sorry, Solo. Okay, I asked you, donkey. Reddick is solid when his defensive coordinator's using him to his strengths. Well, it took him all, but it took him the entire time in the first quarter poll. Like I said, and I'll keep saying it, about time you got off the bus. What schedule were you looking at when you said, because I didn't think that Jalen would have this much improvement, and I didn't like the way the team was prepared. That's why I said it. And because I went with the way that they prepared the team last year. I'm impressed that they haven't pissed me off yet enough to throw my phone to the window, says Kyle. Yes, right there. I have to acknowledge what Mike is saying here. Mike, Fletcher Cox is playing well. Really well. Fletcher looks really good. Okay? Really good. I have been impressed with, of all the guys in the middle there. By the way, TJ Edwards is spectacular. He is everywhere. He's also a free agent at the end of the year. No, I think Fletcher, outside of just the Lions game, Dank, I would say outside of the Lions game, when they ran the ball very well against that front, I'd say for the last 3 games, I think that Fletcher's played well. Okay? And you know what, though, Philly? I don't really think the offensive line outside of Lane, I don't think they were super happy with that performance. Okay? But then again, dude, it's a bad weather game. And when you're in bad weather games like that, it's tough to evaluate guys. The Mulata injury concerns me, and so does Slade being banged up the last couple weeks. That concerns me, okay? That concerns me a little bit here. But no, when you go down the list, Miles Sanders, man. Here, Miles Sanders, 72 carries, 356 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's averaging 4.9 a carry. What a stud he's been. His first 4 games, this guy's playing, in my opinion, he's playing for an audition for someone else. The Eagles are not going to sign him, and nor is he going to stay in Philly. He's not going to take a haircut if he gains 1,500 yards and makes the Pro Bowl. He's not going to stay for $3 million. That's not happening. You got Sayamalo, who's a free agent. You got TJ Edwards, who's a free agent. You think they're going to stay in Philly because why? They want to make less money? You don't have Tom Brady as your quarterback or Aaron Rodgers. You don't know how this thing's going to play out. You better get the money you get right now. If we make the chip, we get a choice between the Bills and Chiefs. Give me the Bills. I want no parts of Andy and Mahomes. They made the Bucs look foolish. We'll talk about week 4 of the NFL. I never thought the Bucs were in that game. As much as people were saying that Brady played well, they did. I think the Bucs are going to be okay. But Andy and Mahomes, they're just on a different level right now. They really are. That Chiefs team's the best team in the league. That Chiefs team's the best team in the league. You're not beating that quarterback. And by the way, with a bullshit decision on fourth down late in the game, Mahomes takes your ass out and beats you. You're not doing that to him. Giving him the ball back late in the game to tie it. Yeah, right. Okay. Not happening. The Chiefs look good. Here. I would still say this, though, that the Eagles compared to the Chiefs after the first 4 games, I still think the Eagles have a deeper roster than KC. We still have to wait and see how this thing still plays out. Okay? Because injuries are going to be a factor everywhere in the league. Everywhere. And I want to see what these teams look like. Look at Buffalo and what Buffalo's lost in their secondary. That's not the same football team that played that Rams team in the opener. So we still have to wait and see how this thing plays out here. Okay? We have to wait and see because the war of attrition is going to play an issue. Okay? The war of attrition is going to play a factor here. I thought Doug Peterson had poor play calling in this game offensively. That was not a good game plan by him. I think Doug completely got out-coached by Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff. Throwing the ball in the rain like that. And you saw what the receivers were doing. There were tip passes everywhere. Lawrence couldn't even hold it when he was on a sprint out. And you're throwing it? Why? You had 2 running backs that were considered 2 of the best tandems in the NFL, and you thought to throw it? Why? Poor game planning. I didn't think they were really focused on how to beat them, and yet they stayed close. Don't do that. I'm all over. Dude, Josh Allen is a great player. I just said right now the Chiefs look like the best team. Jesus criminy. It's 4 games in. Hang in there. Okay? Hang in there. Richard goes, Dan, why are you such a hater? Hater? No. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I see. And you don't like that. Most people don't. Most people want to be told things so it fits their ego and fits what they want to feel. I don't do that. I don't. And I'm sorry you don't like that, but I'm a person that tells you what I see. I'm an observationist, not just a sports talk guy. I'm an observationist, okay? I'm a person that sees things, and if you don't like what I see, that's a you thing, not me, okay? And for the record, I think Trevor Lawrence, that was a tough ball game for him. He'll get better. Still a fine talent. Still a fine talent. A fine talent. Got a great future ahead of him, especially with Doug around him. I barely admit when you're wrong. You deflect and make excuses. I don't deflect or make any excuses for anything in my life. That's why some of the things in my career have happened. I wish I had done that and been a bullshit artist. I wish that I was an angler. I wish I could lie to you. I wish I could lie to people, but I can't. So if you don't like it, it's too bad, dude. Or, ma'am. If Hurts had that game, Sills, if I still wouldn't. It's a weather game. I told you at the top, I thought Jalen played well. He made throws in the rain. He made plays in the rain. He did what he I thought that was an A ball game. Some of you are probably thinking I think that was an A game. In weather like that, motions like that, he did what it took to win the game. Everything's not going to be 70% completion percentage in this league. Every game's not going to be 330 yards passing. You got to win ball games like that in the NFL. And they did. That's what I saw. That was my takeaway. They won a ball game. Doug comes home. The weather was awful. A lot of distractions in that ball game. They were down 14. I have no issues. None. Some of the play calling on both ends, then again, it's weather, man. Okay? And it's harder. It's hard to go like this. Well, Jalen didn't get his foot back, and he didn't have proper technique on that throw. Yeah, well, shit, man. They had a torrential downpour going on. You're not going to get a great performance from anybody except Miles Sanders, who was great, and the guy who decided to get off the bus, Hassan Reddick. Congratulations to you. He got off the bus finally. And instead of falling back on your wallet, you fell on a quarterback. Way to go, dude. About time. Hey, congratulations for not robbing a bank. Jesse James, when he robbed banks, used a gun. This guy was just using his helmet for the first 3 weeks. Congratulations to you, kid. You finally went in and did your job. You don't get kudos for that. It's why you're brought here. Hey, did you see him, Sileo? I'm like, well, I hadn't. He's been on a milk carton. His face has been on a milk carton for 3 weeks. And he shows up. Congratulations, kid. Way to go. I guess. Reddick is the dude. Yeah. That guy needs about 100 more bricks in his pocket and about 2 more Tokyo phone books to stand on, too. No, he looks good out there. Oh, man. 3.5 sacks. Oh, hey, man. That's like telling me I would take Jalen over Josh Allen because he's got better stats and Patrick Mahomes. Do you understand that when you say that, how idiotic that sounds? That I would rather take Jalen over Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes because he's got better statistical numbers. Use your eyeball test. Use your eyeball. I think Hardgrave and Cox, both of them, I think they've played really well. I think the last 3 weeks they've played well. I mean it. That triangle and TJ, hey, look, the triangle with the 2 tackles and TJ there, whew, dude, that's your heart and soul of your defense right now. You are killing it. Okay? You are killing it there. Who's Dan Bayless? And we got 2 first-rounders to continue the build around QB1. You keep building around QB1, excuse me. Leave Lamar Jackson out of that group. Why? He's a legend. And plus, he's a consensus All-American or MVP. What are you talking about? You crazy, man? Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. There's only one guy that's had a unanimous MVP in NFL history. It's Lamar Jackson. Are you kidding me? Dude, TJ's killing it. That kid, for the money they pay him and with the job that he does, he is a force. If I had to pick Pro Bowlers after the first 4 weeks of the season, I would say this. Here's your Pro Bowlers. Let me do this. If I had to pick Pro Bowlers on the Eagles right now, I would start with Lane Johnson, Jason Kelce. You see Kelce playing and how good he blocked? Wow. Dude, Jason Kelce, let me say this to you, man. He gives me goosebumps. Jason Kelce, in my opinion, is the best center that I've seen in the NFL since Bruce Matthews. Okay? He is the best center. He's better than Kevin Mawai. Okay? He's the best center I've seen since Bruce Matthews. And Bruce Matthews was like 6'5", 325. I mean, Bruce Matthews was all pro at guard, tackle, and center. No player's ever done that. And he was a hell of a player at all 3 of those positions. Kelce's the best center I've seen in 20 years. That's a fact. Stepnoski, better than him, better than Ray Donaldson. Yeah, man, he is a force of nature. First ballot Hall of Famer. When I put the list together for the Hall of Fame voters, Jason Kelce, I'm going to make sure every single thing that guy's ever done is on the sheet that I hand to all the voters. I'm part of the group. There's like 10 of us that put all the statistical things together for the nominations every year. Then I get asked who I like of 5 guys. Kelsey's going to be on my list for sure. What a football player. What an amazing, amazing career he's had. I thought the whole thing with Doug and the jacket was fantastic as well. What an inspiration. You're going to be shocked. Check this out. Watch this. I got Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey. I got Goddard. I think Goddard, is there a better tight end in the NFC right now than Dallas Goedert? Kittle hasn't played. He's better than the guy in, hey, he's better. He's better. Dude, that drop was terrible. It was. It does it. But every time he catches the ball, Goddard, man, he's impossible to get on the ground. I agree that catch was, or drop was terrible. Okay? It was terrible. But man, when he catches the ball, shit, he's a nightmare. He is a nightmare. He's a better runner with the football than Zach Ertz ever was. Ertz had better hands, but this guy blocks, and he's better after the catch. And I don't think it's close. I think Dallas Goedert's a Pro Bowler, man. So I got Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Goddard. A.J. Brown. Look at how many people you're going to have on the Pro Bowl team this year, potentially. This is the first 4 weeks. Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Goddard, A.J. Brown. You got to put Miles Sanders on that list. He's been one of the best 3 running backs in the NFC in the first 4 months or first 4 games of the year. You've got to put Miles Sanders in there. How do you not put Miles Sanders when you're averaging 5 yards a carry and you're on pace for 1,500 yards? Really, the only other back in the NFC really that's making any kind of hayway is Saquon Barkley in New York. You've got to. You got to put Jalen Hurts in the Pro Bowl. Look at how many players you got off your offense, off your 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 players off the offense alone. On defense, TJ Edwards is a bona fide Pro Bowler. I'll tell you something here. TJ Edwards, Slay's missed time the last 2 weeks, but I would still say this to you. Slay's going to get votes. Hey, I'm going to show you how I do things. You got to put Fletcher Cox in there. I think you got to put Fletcher Cox in there. Okay? So listen what I said to you. Offensively, I've got Hurts, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Goddard, A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders. On defense, TJ Edwards, Slay, and Fletcher Cox. That's what I would put because I think Fletcher's played well. I really do. Played well against the run, and he's been right there. 6, 7, you got 9 guys potentially that could make the Pro Bowl this year after the first 4 games. That's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. I wouldn't put Bradbury in there right now. I don't think he's playing at a Pro Bowl level. I think he's playing well. Your best player on defense is your linebacker. It's not Darius Slay. He's missed a game and a half. Okay, he's missed like 2 parts of – he's missed a game, I'd say. Not a game and a half, but a game. Okay, been out last week and this week. So I would say TJ Edwards has been your most consistent ball player. Darius Slay, I still would put in the Pro Bowl, but I would also put Fletcher Cox into that conversation too. That's a pretty good list. You got 9 guys that are playing really great ball right now. Okay. That's a pretty good start so far. And Fletcher's really been, I think Hardgrave is right there. Hey man, I'll tell you what too. Look at what the answer. Look at what you got that is coming up here too. Free agents, end of the year. Bradbury, Edwards, Fletcher, Hardgrave, Sayamalo, Sanders. You got 6 guys off a 4-0 football team that are all starters. 6 starters are going to be free agents at the end of this year. Bradbury, Edwards, Cox, Hardgrave, Sanders, and Sayamalu. You're going to pay all them guys? When you got a quarterback around the corner that you're going to pay, according to some of you guys, $46 million bucks? You really, who are you going to knock off that list? You think you're paying them all? Are you paying all those guys? With what? You got 2 ones coming up next year? That's a lot of guys to make decisions on. So what's your window, really? You think you're re-signing all these guys? CJ's on a 1-year deal. You got 7 dudes. You got 7 guys. And a $50 million decision. And a $25 million wide receiver. I don't think Will Anderson's going to be where the Eagles are. I think right now, I think some teams that lost over the weekend, I think they're in the 11 hole now. They've actually moved down, even with the Saints losing. They're in the 7 hole right now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The Eagles are in the 3 hole now? Huh. Dude, the Eagles are in the 3 hole? Wow. Hey, Big Sills, if we win the chip, everybody gets signed. Really? Okay. Because that always happens. Oh, 3 hole? I thought we were at 3. Wow, 3 hole. That's insanity. That's insane, man. That's insane. Yeah, look, I think they've played well. By the way, top of the hour, we're going to take a look at where the Eagles fit in the NFC as well. It's actually 4th overall, just confirmed. Okay, 4th overall. I thought they were in 11. It must have been a preseason thing. Xander says it's 4th. Drew, it's 4th. Steichen, where are you here? Steichen and Gannon will be gone if we win the chip. Good. Not saying, but Gannon, good. Maybe you get somebody with some decent defensive background who's got more onions. I can't stand that guy. I don't think he's very creative, and I don't think he's good. I think I'm with Seth. Guy don't impress me. Isaac and Hardgrave will walk. So will Miles Sanders. Still's talking like this to Merrill or Rob, come on, then changes his tune. I don't change my tune ever. If they have a different opinion than me, why should I argue with them? Just to hear myself and try to make my point? I don't do that. If somebody's got a different opinion of me, I brought Michael Irvin on. He thinks the Eagles are building a dynasty. And I bring everyone on. Last week, every guy that was in Jacksonville has been impressed with Jalen. You don't know what you're talking about. You just listen to 5% of what Big Sill says. It's okay. I understand this. Okay, I understand this. Sanders will resign for what, $2 million? He makes $2.5 million now. What do you think you're going to sign a guy for if he ends up going through the tape at 1,500 yards? 3? You think Howie's going to spend $6 million on Miles Sanders? You think he's going to put $6 million on Miles Sanders? There's a better chance of paying Jalen $40 million. than paying Miles Sanders $6 million. You're out of your mind. He's right now on pace for 15-13 at 5 yards a carry. Dude, I'll tell you what team would really love to have that guy. You know what team would really love to have a guy like that? Baltimore. Baltimore would love to have a guy like that. Miles Sanders running the ball. Okay? I'm happy we have Jurgens and Driscoll. I thought they played well when they came in. I'll tell you, that's another great thing about the Eagles, man. Their depth on O-line is fabulous. It's fabulous. Hey, the Cowboys would love to have Miles Sanders. Dak Prescott would love to have. Oh, my God, wouldn't that be wild? Watching Miles Sanders go to the Cowboys? Woo! Jerry will pay him. Okay? Someone goes, I could run. Hey, Nell goes, Sills, I could run behind that line. I could run behind that line. Dude, Sanders was he's my favorite. He's my favorite offensive player on the Eagles. I mean, him and Kelsey. I love those two. I love Mulata too, and I like Lane. But I love Miles Sanders. Dude, he's, I do. What were you saying about number 7, says Dupree? What I'm saying about him is I was really glad that he didn't miss the bus this week and that he got on the bus. It was really great. Okay? I was really glad that he didn't miss the bus because the last couple of weeks he's been missing the bus. I was happy that he got on the bus. It was really great to see that he got on the bus. Yeah, congratulations. Way to go, Hassan. You made the bus. How about A.J. Brown coming out too and having to quantify why he didn't make that tackle? I happen to agree with Seth. Sometimes you get caught in no man's land out there, and it happens so fast like that. Seth's right. I don't think he didn't want to hit him, and I don't think it was a business decision. I just think he got caught in the middle. Okay? Yeah. Hey, man, way to go. Hey, Hassan, way to go. You showed up. Wow. You earned some of your money. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Hey, congratulations for doing your job. Huh. Wow, I wish I got pats on the back. Every time I ask Xander for that, he goes, what do you want, a cookie? Oh, I see. Hassan gets praise in the Kool-Aid drinks from Xander and all of you guys. Big Sills, I can't even get a cookie. Reddick drove the bus. About time, man. He's missed it the last 3 weeks. He's got 3.5 sacks. Dude, did you see what the Cowboys did to Carson Wentz this past weekend? That old line in Washington's terrible. Hey, you want to get great stats? Play Washington. How can you expect Reddick to get 20 sacks when you have this many? Let's see. Reddick drove the bus. Sills doesn't follow statistics or injury reports. I'm hoping Reddick keeps balling. Hoping? You're hoping that Reddick keeps balling. I hope. Hope? I like the word yes, I know, and he is. I like those words. Not, man, I hope he plays and continues to play well. See, when you talk about Brady, there's no hope. Or Rodgers, or Mahomes, there's no hope. Hey, I hope he plays well. You think you've ever said that about Patrick Mahomes? I hope Jalen continues his effort and plays well the next 4 games. You're still saying that about Hurts, right? You don't say that about Mahomes and Allen and Lamar. The only thing you say about Lamar is, I hope he don't get hurt. Same thing with Allen. Same thing with Brady. You don't use the word hope with Tom Brady. Hey, man, I hope this guy plays well. Shit. Oh, God. Hey, I hope he plays great. Oh, man. Don't give me them words. I hope the Eagles continue this. I hope this guy – hey, the one thing you don't have to worry about is your injuries in your O-line. That Eagle team can sustain it, man. They can. They can sustain it. We're becoming that team Yeah. All right. I got to take a break. I want to take a time out here. I'm going to look at some of these NFC teams. And you tell me where you think. Okay? Actually, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to compare the NFC. I'm going to compare the NFC's only undefeated team to teams in the AFC. And then you tell me what you think. If you could beat those teams. Why don't we do that? You keep comparing them to the NFC. Granted, you have to win it to get to the game. But let's take a look at some of those teams that are in the AFC. We'll do that. Don't forget our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free, meaning this. If you're hurt or injured on the job, okay, don't think that they're going to get paid and you don't. If you don't get paid, they don't. That's how it works at Morgan & Morgan. They're the biggest law firm in the country, and they defend every single person that signs up with Morgan & Morgan. For the past 30 years, that number's $13.5 billion. They're the biggest law firm, as I said, in the country. And for the people's not a slogan. With over 800 attorneys and offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida, Morgan & Morgan is there for you to do battle for you each and every single day. There's no such thing as a fender bender. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. Hey, the call is free. The consultation's free. 800-512-1600. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, you tell them Big Sil sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
The faces you know, the team you trust. The Delaware Valley's leading news program, Action News.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Big Sales National Football Show. Appreciate you guys here. Hey, Dominique, you can either hit the dislike or like buttons. They're all the same. They're all the same. You know what it's called? Response. I only look for responses. I'm not asking you to like me. I care you're engaged. I don't give a shit if you like me. I don't, Dominique. Okay? I don't care. I care you're here. Hit the dislike button all you want, kid. Thank you. Signed, Howard Stern. The guy made a career doing that. What are you, crazy? This is about response, not whether you like me or not. This just in. What? Easy, Forrest. Yeah. Holy cow. Easy, Forrest. Oh, man. Here. You know what? Let me ask you this. Okay, who's an undefeated? UCLA Bruins, the Chip Kelly Bruins, are 4-0. Wow. What a great team. You really think they could beat Georgia? Do you really think they could beat Alabama or Ohio State, UCLA? How bad would that game be? 38-0? Ask Michigan what it's like to play them SEC teams with a great record. Didn't they go into that game against Georgia last year undefeated? And everyone was like, oh my God, Michigan. I'm like, they're going to get killed by 28. That thing won't be close. It'll be over by second quarter, mid-second quarter. Kansas is 5-0. Unbelievable. You think they could beat Alabama? Shit, you think they could beat Texas A&M? Are you out of your mind? Just because you're undefeated don't make you the best team in the league or the best team in the country. It's quality of opponent you've played. That's common sense. You guys are under the impression because you're 4-0, you're the best team in the league. That's a dumb way of looking at shit. Every time I say that to someone, they go, well, we're 4-0. That don't make you the best team in the league. You can't beat Kansas City. You're not beating Patrick Mahomes. Here, let's look at some of the AFC teams. You think you're beating the Bills? Absolutely not. You beating the Chiefs? Absolutely not. You beating the Ravens? That'd be a great game. That'd be a great game. You beating the Chargers? Well, you got beat last year by them. But I would say that be a great game. You haven't beaten them yet, so I'll say great game. Chargers beat you a year ago. Could you beat Miami? Yeah, you could beat Miami. Could you beat Cincinnati? I think you'd get pressure on Burrow, and I think that game would be close. But I'll always take the better quarterback. In every one of these games, except the Miami game, that team has a better quarterback than you. Burrow's better. Herbert's better. Jackson's better. Allen's better. And Mahomes is better. Now you add a couple teams from the AFC or the NFC. Rodgers. You think you're beating Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game when you make dumbass decisions on fourth down? You better make sure you get home field advantage. You better make sure you get home field advantage. Okay? You're not beating the Packers. Well, we got the Packers coming up. I'm going to leave that there. I'll go incomplete because we'll find out. So you think you're beating Brady? You think you can beat Tampa Bay? You surely can't beat Kansas City. Kansas City took it to him. You're not doing that to Brady. Mahomes is. So I got about 9 teams that you're going to have to do battle with before you start crowning yourself champions. Now, on October 3rd, could this change to where it improves the odds of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl? Yeah. We're seeing this now with injuries. So wait a minute. If you think, let me ask you guys this. What's his name? Nick says we could beat anyone. We could beat everyone. Not without Mulata, Darius Slay, and Isaac Seumalo. No, you can't. No, you can't. You think the Bills are the same team without their star safety? What are you, crazy? This has got to play out more. You're not the best team in the NFL because you're undefeated. It's a dumb-ass way of looking at it. College football, it doesn't work that way. Or Kansas would be number 1 or number 3 in the country. They know they can't hang with Bama. And everyone knows the Eagles can't beat the Chiefs. And they got one loss. Better quarterback. Plus Andy Reid. And by the way, let me pull this back here. Are they playing good foot? I've said it again. They're 4-0. The Eagles are playing really good football. And they're winning in a variety of ways, which makes them a hard team to prepare for. You don't really know what you're going to get each and every single week with this team. That makes them maybe one of the – I'll say this to you about the Eagles. Okay? I'll say this. Oh, wait a minute. So look at Joshua. Chiefs lost to the Colts. Are you under some impression that there's a team that you've beaten that the Colts couldn't beat? Are you under some impression of that? Are you? The Colts were 9-8 too last year in the AFC. Are you under some impression that you beat some stalwart teams? Are you? And dude, you're going by record. No, look at Zach. Sileo's comparing college. Oh my God. I'm talking philosophy, jackwagon. That's what I'm talking. Oh, wow. I don't think there's a team that you've beaten that the Colts couldn't beat. Okay? I don't. Eagles could beat anyone, Sills. You think you could beat Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow? Wow. It's funny. You guys told me that Kirk Cousins was a piece of shit and he was a no-good quarterback, but now you're propping up Minnesota like they have won 4 Super Bowls in the last 6 years because it's the only thing you can lean on of a quality team you've played. And so you have to do that. I get it. And I think they're a quality team too, actually. I do. Okay? Seals, quit if we win Super Bowl, please, Steven says. Any given Sunday. Rodgers sucks. Oh, okay. So wait, Jalen's better than Rodgers, right? So wait a minute. Aaron Rodgers has just beaten Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in consecutive weeks, but he sucks. Wait a minute. You beat Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz, but you're the best. Aaron Rodgers beats Belichick and Brady in consecutive weeks, but he sucks. Like it. Thought out well. Oh, wait a minute. Here's another good one. Rodgers is a regular season king. That's it. Name me a quarterback outside of Brady that's got a better postseason record than Aaron Rodgers. Let's see. Roethlisberger. Manning's 14-13. Favre is 13-12. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can't think of anybody over 10 wins. Montana, 16-5. Play more games today. But recently, yeah, Favre is 14-13. Rodgers is 13-12. Marino's got an under 500 record. Let's see. Russell Wilson's 9-7. Breeze is 9-7. Breeze is 9-7. Okay? Everyone's always under the impression Breeze has got he's 9-7 in the postseason. These are guys with 10 wins. He doesn't even have 10 wins. But you guys make it sound like, well, Aaron Rodgers hasn't really. Well, he's won quite a few playoff games. Okay? And should he have one more? Dude, so should Favre. 30 years, you got 2 Super Bowl championships? That's underachieving. Peyton Manning underachieved in Indianapolis. Winning 1 Super Bowl? Shit, the guy in Pittsburgh, Roethlisberger, had a better postseason record than what Manning did. I'm talking Peyton, too. Sills was all over Jefferson. I'm still all over Jefferson. Jefferson could go the next 4 weeks without a yard and still be ahead of the pace of the fastest guy to 3,000 yards in the history of the league. Yeah, I am. I'm still all over Jefferson, and I'll still take Justin Jefferson. Eagles beat the Oh, God, here we go. Anyway, you're not beating the Chiefs, dog. You're not beating the Chiefs. I think you can win the NFC, and I said that in May that you can do this. Got to take a timeout. Hour 2. We kind of swept the top of the hour here. Gary Cobb's going to be with us from Fox 29 in Philadelphia, as he always is on a Monday. That's at the bottom of the hour. I want to take a look at some of the games in Week 4. Also, we've got some of the top draft picks and where Will Anderson. And currently, right now, where the Eagles sit, there's a potential shot that you could get Will Anderson. I want to explain. We'll do all that. Hit the like button. Hour 2 coming up. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, Birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown's 5-day used car super sale. Jeff puts an end to high prices now. 5 days of the best car, truck, and SUV deals ever. Over 1,000 vehicles, every make and model. Stop overpaying. See Jeff today and get a quality car, truck, or SUV now. The 5-day used car super sale. Experience how easy it is to deal at Jeff's. Nobody treats you better. Nobody gives you more. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. GoJeffAuto.com.
Hour 2 National Football Show. It's your boy, Big Stills. Oh, I hope some of you haven't had your feelings hurt here today. It is a football Monday. We'll get to some of the Week 4 action, but I don't know if you noticed it on some of the talk shows, the national shows on Sunday, the pregame shows, CBS and Fox, and also NBC. The Tua conversation. I'll give you a minute, comment, we move on. That stuff. Oh, by the way, it comes down from the commissioner. Don't talk head trauma. Don't talk about concussions. You're a business partner. Remember that. Okay? The NFL found their scapegoat. Independent guy. That was just going by protocol that the league set up, so they fired him. He was doing everything that he was told, but he's the scapegoat. I don't blame that neurologist, that independent guy. The system of the league is what the issue is. And the cash register. You wanted Tua versus Burrow on Thursday night. Why can't you just admit that? Can't. Because that makes you non-human. That makes you somebody that would do this. If you saw your friend fall down and he was bleeding profusely or he was knocked out, wouldn't you take him to the doctor just to see if he was okay? Instead, what do? They put you under a tent, then they put you back on the field and go, back injury. Well, that injury against the Bills on Sunday didn't look like a back injury. I've never seen a back injury where a guy wobbles to his feet, falls down, and his teammates have to pick him up. I've never seen that. You put him on the field, wow. And you know what's sad about this conversation? The Dolphins have to move on from him. How many times was he hurt at Alabama? 7? I didn't realize he had 5 surgeries at Alabama. I thought it was just that major injury that he had, that he got hurt his last year. That guy had multiple hand and back and shoulder and all kinds, man. He's just not built for the game. It's a shame because he's a good player. But they'll have to move on. Like they did in San Francisco. Garoppolo didn't lose his job because he's 38-16. He lost his job because he's not on the field all the time. League don't like you talking about head trauma stuff, though. You could talk about race. You could talk about Colin Kaepernick. You could talk about COVID. You could talk about anything else you want, but don't talk about head injuries. You ever notice that's the only thing that's suppressed by the league? Everything else they jump on. Say no more. Remember that whole thing with beating women? Chris Carter crying and pretending that he cared too? All those commercials? You don't see them putting commercials out there about head injuries and guys that are vegetables today. Remember that. League called all them networks up. Yeah, keep it down. Okay, keep that thing down and keep your outrage down because you should be outraged on how they handle Tua Tagovailoa. All right. Gary Cobb, bottom of the hour. We're going to talk to our friend and get his spin on what he's seen to this 4-0 start. Now, look, man, I want to make sure that we underscore the things that we said in the last hour. Okay? They're 4-0, and they're beating everything that's in front of them, and they're doing it in different ways, and kudos to what that team is. That's far from a finished product, and everyone knows it. Okay? Are they a complete team? They showed they could come from behind And by the way, I think the Jags are a well-coached team. I don't think they were really that well prepared for that game. Throwing in the rain like that, I thought Sirianni and his coaching staff had that football team more prepared than what the Eagles were when it came to how they were going to approach each other. I personally think Sirianni outcoached Doug Peterson in that game. I do. I didn't like the fourth down gamble when you didn't need to. I get the weather. You can make the argument. Well, Sills, the kicker got hurt. He got banged up in the game. It's a 39-yarder in the rain. What about, you were just talking about, football control and handling it in the rain, snap, boom, the whole thing. You could be setting yourself up for a disaster. So you probably played the right percentage in doing that, but you pay that kid for a reason. He's one of the highest paid kickers in the league. Give him a shot at it. Okay? Let's see here. Keith says Dan's negative. No, Dan's a realist. Okay? You're out there with some sort of and you know what's crazy? Last hour someone goes, so Leo's comparing college to what the pros are. And I'm like, I'm not comparing anything. There's no comparison except for this. You would never say a team that is 5-0 is the best team in the league by the people that they've played. In the NFL especially, AFC schedule is tougher. We know this. There's a reason the Eagles have the 31st easiest schedule in the NFL. We saw that. And it's playing itself out. Now, again, they're controlling these teams. Here, I guess what I'm having a problem with here is they're doing what's expected. This is not over the top. They're doing what's expected. Each week's going to be its own individual test. This Cards game, yeah, you got to go on the road. You got to travel 3,000 miles. You got to go to Arizona. There's some good players there. Hollywood Brown is actually looking like he's becoming a player. There's no Bernard Hopkins. I mean Bernard Hopkins. I don't think there's Hopkins. I don't think Hopkins is out there on the field right now. I don't. Okay, so I got to sit there and go and figure out what, again, Arizona looks like. I got to watch the 22. I want to see how they play. So we'll get them and we'll understand it more when I get the chance to watch their 22 from this past weekend. Cards hype alert. I don't know. I don't know if they're better than Minnesota. Their defense, I don't know if they can get after people as much. Let's see. Better D-Sills, Dallas or Philly? Could be a push. Could be a push. I would say that, okay? I would say that there'd be a push. But listen, don't get me wrong here, man. 4-0, I don't have a problem with the way that they've done and how they've played and how they've been coached and how I think Jalen Hurts has actually played some pretty damn good ball. I liked what he did Sunday in the rain. Not any more impressive than the NFL 4-0 facts. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. How many times is the best team with the best record at the end of the year win the Super Bowl? When is the last time that happened? How many times do you see teams 10-6? The 10-6 Giants go in and beat the 17-0 New England Patriots. How many times do you get bounced or Dallas get bounced? Just because you have the best record doesn't mean you're the best team. Those teams get bounced all the time. It's the teams that are playing the great ball late in the year. Has nothing to do with record. The NFL is the only thing that you can go and say this to. In college, you have to have a great record. In the NFL, you don't. Make it to the postseason, you can win a Super Bowl. You can win a Super Bowl winning 9 games. It's happened. You could win a Super Bowl and beat a team undefeated and have only 10 wins. And we see this all the time play itself out. Okay? We do. We see this all the time. There's some really good guys that have played well, though. And again, I got to go back, and I want to say this about Miles Sanders here. And I'm going to say it again to you. I don't know what the organization is going to do, and I have no idea how they're going to handle Miles Sanders. 72 carries, 356 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 4.9 yards a carry. Howie Roseman's not re-signing him. I don't care what anybody says. They're not re-signing him. And they're going to go into the market, and they're going to let this guy walk. There's too many players, okay, that are on that team that are on one-year deals. This is almost like a 1-year window type of team. The healthiest team will win the Super Bowl. Stubbs, you're damn right. And talent and healthiest. Okay? Talent and healthiest will win the Super Bowl. Talent and health. Okay? Feels to me like Miles will be back. But you're right. It'd be very unlikely. Well, he makes $2.5 million now. Miles Sanders makes $2.5 million now. You think Howie Roseman's paying him $6 million if he has 1,500 yards? Never in a million years. And do you think he's going to go, well, I'll take 3.5 when he can go get 6 in the open market? The Dallas Cowboys would die to have Miles Sanders on that team with getting rid of Zeke and putting him in there. Instead of paying him, Ezekiel Elliott, $18 million, I could pay this guy 6. I'll take it. Cowboys would love to have Miles Sanders. Dude, I love the Batman deal. I love the whole thing. Music said the Chiefs are not invincible. Mahomes makes dumb mistakes under pressure. Okay, that's true, but who are you going to take in a tight game, Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes? Who are you taking? Or you're not taking Jalen Hurts to make a play over Mahomes, are you? I mean, if you put that in Vegas or in Atlantic City on a sports book, nobody in their right mind outside of Philly would do that. You're not betting against Mahomes. You're not. Not at all. You're not taking Jalen over Josh Allen. Jalen has a better team. Jalen has a better team than Kansas City. How do you know that? Because they're 4-0. Right. Okay. It's funny. This kid went into Tampa Bay and they beat the brakes off of the Bucs last night. The Bucs destroyed the Eagles this year. Destroyed them. Would that game be closer? Probably. But Jalen's not beating Brady. Dan, if the Chiefs and the Eagles played, what would the score be, in your opinion? 35-25. Something like that. 35-25. That's where I would put it. I can't wait to hear this. Hey, by the way, let me show you this. This right here, I'm using as a milk carton. And I got Hassan Reddick's name right here, man. Hassan Reddick's name. It got taken off the milk carton. Let me bring my guy Gary Cobb in from Fox 29 here. And hey, man, somebody got off the bus, Gary. Hassan Reddick got off the bus. Gary, you there? Let's see if we can reconnect with him a little bit here, Xander. He got off the bus. Reddick milk carton. We're going to put Sills on a milk carton. Bills are more complete than the Chiefs, really. They've been to 4 straight AFC championship games. They've won a Super Bowl. Their quarterback's a $500 million guy, but you're a better team. Sound. The Eagles haven't played a full 4 quarters here. All right, let's see if we can reconnect with our friend Gary Cobb here. Gary, you there, brother?
I'm right here.
So somebody decided to get off the bus, man, in that game on Sunday. Hassan Reddick, man, he got off the bus.
Yeah, he did.
And he was a factor.
Boy,
All right, Gary, give me your thoughts. I mean,
it
it was an emotional game. Obviously, 29-21. Eagles take care of business, 4-0 on the season. Give me what you saw and what you're thinking, again, as we get through the first quarter pull of the season. Looks like we're stuck again here. There you go.
Yeah.
What do you make, Gary, so far, first 4 games of the year? Give me your thoughts.
Well, it's everything has really kind of been great.
All right, let's see if we can try one more time to see if we can make this happen here. I know there's some bad weather in the area here. Let's see if we can make this happen here. Look how his tune is. My tone is not changed. I want to hear his thoughts. I don't want to pollute his take with my take. That's not how you set up a question. Nah, man. Tune has changed. Yeah, right. Okay. He's gone and there's nothing we can do about it. That hate is blocking the connection. Thank you, Vernon. Backtrack? I'm not backtracking anything here. Not backtracking anything. 27-30. You think it'd be that close between Kansas City and the Eagles? Come on, man. How close would the Bills game be? They were to play the Bills? 41-30. If they were to play, let's see here, Baltimore, that's a 27-26 game. They were to play maybe Cincy, that'd be a pretty close game. Because I think their defensive front would take care of business. Let's see if we can connect with our friend Gary. You there, Gary?
Everything's fine right now. Okay.
Hey, real quick then, give me your sense so far, the 4-0 start.
Well, it's been great because every section of the team, other than the special teams, has dominated. They've shown they can dominate. We saw with the way the passing game. I mean, we saw A.J. Brown dominate. We saw Devontae Smith dominate. That's 2 number 1 receivers really you got. Okay? We've seen outstanding performance by Dallas Goedert at the tight end position. The line, like yesterday.
Just doesn't seem like it's going to work here. Let's just hey Xander, want to take a timeout and see if we can connect here? Let's see if we go ahead, Gary. Let's see. Okay. We're trying to make this thing happen here. What do you want to do, Xander? You want to take a timeout here? Okay. Let's take a time. I'm going to take a timeout, Xander. We'll take a timeout. We'll see if we can reconnect here with Gary Cobb here. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown's 5-day used car super sale. Jeff puts an end to high prices now. 5 days of the best car, truck, and SUV deals ever. Over 1,000 vehicles, every make and model. Stop overpaying. See Jeff today and get a quality car, truck, or SUV now. The 5-day used car super sale. Experience how easy it is to deal at Jeff's. Nobody treats you better. Nobody gives you more. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. GoJeffAuto.com.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Welcome back. National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Appreciate you stepping in with us. Thank you so much. And know there's been bad weather on the East Coast. We're trying to connect with our friend Gary Cobb and get his thoughts on the performance by the Eagles, 29-21, over 400 yards in offense. Look, guys, 4 straight games now that they've done this. And there's no question that the football team is they're doing everything that's been asked of them when it comes to winning ball games. I'm not dispelling that in any way whatsoever. I'm not. I'm just saying, hey, we got a lot of football to be played here. There's 13 more ball games here. And you're going like this. And I heard it on the post-game show, and I'm kind of in Seth's boat here. Let's see them play a complete game against a good football team. I thought the best team they've played so far, and my takeaways from the first 4 weeks have been that they've taken care of business. That's all I'm saying. I'm not really downplaying anything that they've done here. I'm not. I'm just saying temper it where you think they are. Does the best record in the game mean that you are the best team? No. Birds won in a different way each week. That's one of the most impressive things that I'd say that they've done. There's no question about it. Okay? There's no question. That's the one thing that I'm impressed with is what they've done, is how they've won. It's been 4 different ball games. How did the Bucs do last night? They got killed. I thought, and as much as everybody in the media was trying to give the Buccaneers and Brady a pass, they got beat at home, and I thought they were killed in that game. I didn't think it was close. Okay? Hey, Dan, Reddick is on pace for 12 sacks. On pace is nothing. That's a dumb comment. Let's see what he ends with. He's on pace for this. Yeah, okay, Jalen's on pace for like 4,700 passing yards. You don't really think he's going to throw for that, do you? Okay? Seth said Jalen is a franchise quarterback. No, I was talking more about the defense. Okay? Hey, you keep Jalen. No problem. You want Jalen Hurts as your franchise quarterback? That's not my style. My style is Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, those kind of guys. I don't even know if it's Lamar. I'm not sure yet. That's a tough one, too, for me. The kid that the Eagles are playing this weekend, I wouldn't want him as my starting quarterback, Kyler Murray. I don't really like the kid. I wouldn't want Kyler Murray as my quarterback. And the Cardinals just paid him $230 million, $46.1 per. I'm not doing that. I am not doing that at all, man. Allen and Hurts style is similar, don't you agree? Yeah, but the difference is that Allen has an arm. Allen is a bona fide quarterback. Same type of style, but Allen's better, and he's got a better arm. He's a better quarterback. I mean, I don't think that that's a reach when you say that. You watch the way Josh Allen throws the ball, and you watch the way Jalen throws the ball. You tell me which quarterback you think is better. Eyeball tests don't lie, man. Okay? They don't lie. Hurts does not have a better arm than Josh Allen. Look at what Jay said. Are you crazy? You think Jalen Hurts has a better arm than Josh Allen? There's not a person with any football sense would say that. Okay? Now, I tell you this, I would take Hurts over Kyler Murray. Okay? I would take him over Kyler Murray. And if I'm taking him over Kyler Murray, friends, that's 46-1. That's what's in head for the Eagles here. 46.1. One is 6'6", and the other one is 6'1". That's my point. That's my point. Still's not giving props to Reddick. Hey, got off the bus and did his job. Boy, man. So, like, when you walk into work every day and you do your job, are you looking for pats on the back? Dude, you know what's crazy? I told my kid this the other day. Okay, and I tell people this all the time too, and especially when people are talking about being a parent. Okay, you ask somebody, "Well, how come you don't like me?" Like you? That's got nothing to do with it. You're my responsibility. Don't be worried about if people like you or not. Be worried if you're accountable or not. If you do your job. If you're there and you take responsibility for yourself. That's what a parent is. Whether you like me or not has nothing to do with it. Respect Reddick? I don't. I don't think he's a very good edge rusher. I think he had a great game. That's the best game I've ever seen him play, actually. That's probably his best game I've ever seen him play. He has comparable stats. So, General 17, you think Hassan Reddick is as good as Michael Parsons? You think he's as good as Michael Parsons or Chase Young? Or even Kayvon Thibodeau, the rookie coming out of Oregon? Really? You can have him. I'll take the other three. Reddick is better than Parsons. Lawrence or Hurts? I'll still build my team around Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. I'll stick with Trevor. He's got to learn. Just like Jalen did last year when he got destroyed in that Bucs game. He'll get better. Jalen learned. Trevor will learn. Got to protect the ball more. Jalen Hurts was destroyed in the Buc game. And he learned. Trevor will learn. He'll continue to get better and learn. I'll take him. I'm okay with him. I think they got a franchise quarterback there. I guess Montana wasn't legitimate either then, right? Because his arm was mediocre at best. Joe Montana in Super Bowl play was, I believe, 135 quarterback rating, 12 touchdowns to no picks. And he was 4-0 in those games. I don't really know if arm strength had anything to do with Joe. Hey, and for the record, I know that this is not going to be fashionable to say. I'll take Joe over Brady. I'll take Joe. It's just a preference. You can have Brady. I'll take Montana. I'm good with Joe. My wife and I were talking about that the other day. You imagine Montana in today's game with the rules? You couldn't hit the quarterback. You couldn't separate his spleen. You couldn't break his ribs. And you couldn't touch Montana and Rice. Can you imagine not touching Rice in Montana, going down the sidelines? Jerry Rice would still be running. Montana and Rice, it would be insane. It would be insane. It would be, and you have Rice. Oof. I'm sick in the head. That'd probably be the only thing you and I agree on. Howie Reddick got off the bus. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Top of the hour. We will talk about week 4 of the NFL. We got a boatload of stuff. I love this is like a football reaction Monday here. Let's see here. Why does arm strength have? Let's see here. Hurts' style of play can keep the ball out of Mahomes and all the other elite quarterbacks you named. We shall see. Let's see if we can connect with our friend Gary Cobb and talk to our friend here. Connection issues, huh? We're all good here now?
Yeah, I think we're good now. I think I found out maybe what it was.
All right, Gary, let's restart this here and go. Yeah. Your thoughts so far. Let's start with the Jags game. What'd you take away from the 29-21 victory?
A great situation because you had some adversity. You know, they got punched in the mouth. They're sitting there 14-0. What are they going to do? We find out a little bit more about the team when you see some adversity in that situation. And then you lose a couple of your starters. The big guy, Jordan Mailata, he can't go. So you got to put one of the other kids in there. And how does he play? He stepped up. He did his job. You lost your right guard later on in the game. You got Slays out. These are things which happen during the game. You can't predict it, but it happened. And then how do they respond? Also, you see Jalen again. Everything is things are not working well. Drop back, you're in a position to score. Everybody's covered. He did his Houdini act again and got the ball into the end zone. You find out some of the character, and is this team the kind of team that will fight when things are, not going well? And, they passed the test. They passed that test, in that particular situation against a team which, you got to realize, the quarterback, he lost the game for them. He's now holding on to the ball. You got to put two hands on that ball if you're standing in a crowd. Come on. You got big, strong men around you. You can't hold the ball with one hand on a rainy day like that. So they took advantage of it, though, and they went after the ball. They got the ball out. That's really what turned the game, is those turnovers. You can't turn the ball over 5 times and expect to win in the National Football League, even if you're dominating the other team. And the Eagles stepped up. They utilized their running game, and they ran the ball on a team that supposedly couldn't get the ball run on them. They figured it out, and they were able to come back and win that football game. But it was a good test of the character of the team. Will you fight when you're down? It's like, in a heavyweight championship match or any type of a boxing match where you go in there and you get hit. What did you do after you get hit? Meaning it's a good shot and you're dazed a little bit. Are you going to be smart enough to grab them, hold on, make it to the next round, get your head cleared? Can you do that? Or are you the kind that's going to go in there and start swinging and missing, and then you're going to get knocked out? Are you going to be smart? What do you do when it's like a fire alarm? Something's burning. You got to get control of yourself. What do we do when we get hit? And they passed the test. And really, right now, you look at this team, they passed quite a few tests, but it's still very, very early.
Gary, the one thing that I really dig about it is they've won it in 4 different styles. See, and this, Gary, those weather games, you're not making an evaluation on catches and completed passes. You just want to get the hell out of those games with a W. And like you said, they got down 14. They were calm. They were cool. They did everything they needed to do. But I think the things that I take away from the first 4 games is that they've won it in 4 different styles. Is that fair?
That's my point. Is you've had look at all different aspects of the team have shown that when they're needed to, they can be dominant. They dominated against Washington. The defensive line took over the game. Come on, who's going to win? You get your quarterback sacked 9 times. You might as well get on the bus and get out of town. You're not winning that game. And they took over the game. We saw A.J. Brown take over the first game. The defense didn't play well. You give up 35 points. You're not supposed to win. Well, the offense dominated, and A.J. Brown specifically, and really Jalen, because Jalen cut their hearts out. Every time, they got a free guy coming loose, he gives the guy a move, runs away from him, and runs for 25 yards. Those are backbreakers for a defense. So in that first game, that's what happened in the first game. So it was Jalen and A.J. Brown that really led to the victory because the defense didn't play well, gave up 35 points. In the next game, who we got next? We played the Lions.
It was Minnesota.
Then you have Minnesota. Minnesota come in, supposed to be a good game. The defensive backfield, Darius Slay, he locks down this
Justin Jefferson.
Supposed to be the best receiver in football. He put the handcuffs on him and told him, sit here, son. You're not catching any balls today. Come on. Darius could have had 4 or 5 picks. He really dominated the game. So you saw them with the secondary, and the Eagles have a very good secondary. They have got
the kid Marcus Epps is playing his ass off.
Yeah, he's playing great football. You got Bradbury. Look at the play Bradbury made yesterday. That was huge. That pick when they were down there by the goal line, getting ready to score, and you got a guy who. He's not a guy who, wow, we're just in here thinking he's a good player. Guy's been a Pro Bowl player. He's a top-level player. So you got a secondary that could win a game for you. They can take over a game for you. So you've had that. You've had the offense with the wide receivers, the quarterback. You got one of the best offensive lines in the league. You saw your defensive line dominate a game. All the different aspects of a team, other than the special teams, we've seen them dominate. And even yesterday, Miles Sanders, kid has got as much talent as anybody. Just his confidence has to come up. You got to be able to hang on to that ball. And we saw him on display yesterday. So they really have a tremendously talented team. But you got to do it, and you got to have that dog in you, as they say, where you're going to go in there and you grip off on something. You're just going to dog on. We're not losing this game. We're going to win this game. And they showed some of that, but you got to have that very, very strongly, man, where you can play with all the pressure on and make plays. We're going to find that out about them, but they've got the potential to really they can have a great year, really.
How about the production that you're seeing now out of Miles Sanders, Gary? He's on pace for 1,500 yards, 5 yards a carry, and boy, I'll tell you something, man. He has been a factor on that football team. I think we're froze again here. Hopefully we're able to connect there again. Got a boatload of questions. I want to get his thoughts on Hassan Reddick also. Let's see how about the way that Miles Sanders has played? He's on pace, Gary, for 1,500 yards this year.
Well, if he can stay healthy, he's had problems staying healthy. The kid is a talented back. He is fast. He's got good size. He runs over people. He can make moves. He's got good vision. He just got to do it consistently. Let's see if you can do that consistently. And he's got a lot out of yesterday. Been feeding him. And I like the fact that they're saying, hey, you're our guy. We're going to give you a chance. We want you to show us what you can do. And you can see he got a lot out of yesterday. After the game, you can see, kid, that was a confidence booster for him. Dude, do your job, man. The kid's got a lot of money riding on this season.
Oh, he does. Gary, he's not the only one. Check this out. I wrote these names down. Bradbury, TJ Edwards.
That's right.
Fletcher Cox.
Yep.
Hardgrave, Isaac Seumalo, Miles Sanders, CJ are all on 1-year deals, or they're free agents at the end of the deal.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you something. As great as Howie's done, and there's no question putting this team together, there's a lot of decisions to be made, not just with the 4-0 start,
Yeah.
There's a lot of hungry guys out there right now. Maybe that's another reason you're getting great performances.
And they got a sober team where, look, the guys are just not talking to be talking. They got to seem like a lot of level-headed guys, and I think they got tremendous potential. Of course, you got to go out there and you got to do it. But these guys got a lot on the line, and going in the locker room, I see, these guys, these are not young kids who don't know what they're doing. They got some sober, older veterans in there, and you got guys that are.
It's just been a tough connection today here, man. Hopefully there he is coming back here. Hey, man, we're going to keep this bad puppy rolling. Keep going. Good, Gary, finish. Oh. You there, Gary? No. All right. There you go. No, I got you. Go ahead.
Well, so, what I have to say about all these different aspects of the team, they've shown they can win in varied ways. They've got the talent there. They're one of the most talented teams in the league. And now they just got to continue to week in and week out. They're getting tested. Yesterday was very good for them. It's good for them to go through that situation. And they passed the test. They pass. So
okay, I got to throw this out there because everybody's busting my stones because I'm not a fan of Hassan Reddick. He got off the bus for the first time. I mean, he was a factor. That may be the best game I've ever seen him play, Gary. Your thoughts on him for the first 4 weeks?
The thing I like about him is he does something which, times I'll be standing over on the side or whatever, and I'm yelling, man, go after the ball. Go after. Because of a quarterback, you go in there and the quarterback's got the ball in your face. That ball is more important than that quarterback. So some guys will go in, and I've seen guys celebrating, and the ball is loose. And they're getting ready to go into their sack dance. Dude, the ball is loose. The thing I got to give him credit for is he goes after the football. He's already got 3 times where he's got a strip sack. And, getting that ball and forcing the turnover, you force a few turnovers, you're going to win the game. I mean, the stats in the NFL. So I like it that he's doing that. It seems like he's gaining more. He works hard. I always see him working hard, but he's coming around that corner, and he's utilizing his strength and his speed, and he's getting underneath these guys, and he's doing the job. So hopefully they can keep it up, man. But I love what I saw out of him yesterday.
Okay, here, final question for you: are the injuries a concern going into this Cardinal game now? Because you got Mailata now, you got Sayamalu. Darius Slay has missed a couple portions of the last 2 games. Are you concerned with that right now? Let's see if we can connect back again here. Xander, drop out and see if we can bring him back in here. All right. Well, again, that would be my only concern going into this game against the Cardinals, is that you're starting to see a little bit of the injury bug now starting to rear its head a little bit. So again, I loved what he said about Reddick. Look, 3.5 sacks, 3 forced. Well, okay, you're right. Dank, you keep him. That's not my prototype type of defensive end. I want him to be able to make tackles and cover guys. And if you're going to play that position, I still today do not like how small he is. And the reason that he's on 3 different teams in 3 years, you keep him on your team. Let's see if he makes the season. Okay. Let's see if he continues to make the year. He makes tackles? Really? So you're taking 1.5 game and trying to tell me that you think that guy's been an impact in the first quarter pull of the season. He's been let's see. Slay's been better. Fletcher's been better. Edwards has been better. Josh Sweat's been better. Come on, guy. Okay, come on. You keep him. That would not be a sign that I made. He would not be somebody on my defensive team. Okay? How can a defensive end cover Well, he does cover pathetic tight ends and backs. We see it. In that defense, we see it. Were you not watching the games? Okay. He's coming on, Dan. Okay. Got a big game chasing around Kyler Murray. By the way, should have some intel, don't you think? Played there. Let me ask you this. Why do you think Arizona passed on him or let him out? Why did his college coach pass on him? Let me guess. Because he wanted more money or what? Why? What edge rusher do you know that's a quality edge rusher with 23 sacks? Name me one that's like in his 20s that teams just let walk out the door. Name me one. Nobody lets guys like that walk out unless there's a reason. He doesn't really have a position. Hey, we'll see. It's probably the best game I've ever seen him play. I think Bradbury's played well. Slay's been injured the last, I would say, half of last week and half this week. So, yeah. Reddick just won a football game. No, Miles Sanders did. Reddick would be on a 3-4. Well, no, they have that in Arizona, and they had that also in Carolina. Both those teams passed on him. Okay. Dan, do you think James Jett was faster than Tyreek Hill? No, I do not. No, I do not. Reddick won the game? Okay. Reddick won the game. Hater. I'm not a hater. Von Miller is on his third team in a year. Von Miller and Hassan Reddick. Really. Von Miller signed for $20 million or $18 million a year or something like that too. And he's a former NFL Super Bowl MVP. Really? And he's 37. This kid's in his 20s. Von Miller played over a decade in Denver. This is what happens at the end of your career. What, is Reddick done? Reddick is on his third team in 3 years. Von Miller played 13 years in Denver. Oh my God, this is great. Week 4 of the NFL. Week 4 of the National Football League. We got to hit on that. We'll do that at the top of the hour. Sills, who do you think has been the best defensive player on the Birds? TJ Edwards, Ralph. I don't think it's close. I think it's TJ Edwards. Okay? He was, without a doubt, one of the best. Really been playing really great. And I can't believe that he was an undrafted free agent. I just can't. I can't believe it, man. He's been absolutely great. So the 4-0 Eagles, man. Best team in the league. No, you saw the best team in the league in Tampa last night. That's the best team in the league. That Mahomes, do you see Mahomes too? How he plays the game? Andy Reid dials it up. Man, is that guy a great quarterback. Dude, that guy is something else to watch. Patrick Mahomes, man, he's running down. He does a little spin. Then he just tosses it in the back of the end zone. That's what I talk about right there. That's a great quarterback. Mahomes was special last night, man. He is, Xander. He's the best quarterback in the game. I mean it. If you were going to build your football team around one guy, that's the guy. That's the guy you build your team around, is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick is unbelievable. That guy, how about this? Every game he plays in, he'll be favored. You would have to be, I would say this to you. Every game he plays in, you're never going to bet against him. And it was great listening to Brady kind of pass the baton a little bit. Yeah, I really love the kid. I really like the guy. And you saw kind of like the passing of the baton last night. That guy, man, Eric Bieniemy, you actually think he calls plays? Oh, okay. So you think, you know why Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a job? You really think Eric Bieniemy calls the plays for Patrick Mahomes? Really? Okay. Over Andy Reid. Okay. Oh, man. Man. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. This league is filled with such great young quarterbacks, man. Joe Burrow. Looks like he's got that thing aimed in the right direction. Mahomes ain't Mahomes without the opportunities. Dude, he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, and he's still killing teams. Oh, man. So many great quarterbacks. All right, hour 3. I want to hit on week 4. Just think about if you build your team around one quarterback in the NFL. It's got to be Mahomes. Man, that's a leader. That is a talent. Love it, man. Whew. Do you have no love for Jalen? Over Mahomes? No, none. No, none. Zero. Hey, I like that topic. Who I would build the QBs in the NFL, I'd build my teams around. Before I get to week 4, I'll say that. Hit the like button. Hour 3. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
The faces you know, the team you trust. The Delaware Valley's leading news program, Action News.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win. Go to Ocean.
National Football Show, your boy Big Sills. Please hit the like button. We'll reset some of the takeaways week 4. I wrote this little list down here of the quarterbacks that I would take over Jalen to start my team. Tell you what, the list has shrunk. For sure. Compared to the beginning of the year, that's a testament to the kid's hard work and what he's put into it. Like at the beginning of the year, after last year's performance, I'm not taking him over Derek Carr. Now, probably taking him over Derek Carr. Last year's performance, I'm not taking him over Kyler Murray. Now, I'm taking him over Kyler Murray. Would you take him over Matthew Stafford? You know what's funny? I guess. Yeah. Never say that at the beginning of the year. Ever. He's improved. He's completely improved. Okay? Completely improved. But just some of the guys that, I wrote, where is that? Here are some of the guys that that I wouldn't. Yeah, here you go. I'm sorry, but I'm not taking him. I'm not taking him over Burrow. I'm not taking him over Justin Herbert. I'm not taking him over Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, any of those dudes. None of those guys. Okay? None of them. Got to factor intangibles into this now that he has shown more skill. Yeah, but those other guys are better players. Okay? Those other guys are better players, though. I take him over Dak. Absolutely. I take him over Dak. Fly. Chargers beat your ass last year. Wasn't like you beat him. I mean, his biggest win is against Kirk Cousins. That's his biggest win in his career. Is against Kirk Cousins. I'm not sure what to make of that. 4-0 start. You beat Kirk Cousins. It's your biggest win so far as a Philadelphia. That's your biggest win. Okay? If you guys were dogging Cousins, what's that mean now? He hasn't beaten Dak even, and I don't think much of Dak. If he beats Murray, I actually think more of Cousins than Murray. He's done more. He's a better passer. He's a better passer than Murray. I think the Cardinals, I think they're going to rue, like the Cowboys are, signing Dak Prescott. Okay? That's just my take. Why are you breaking balls on Victory Monday? I'm not. I thought, here, my takeaways. I thought it was a great team win. You're down 14. You come from behind. You win. In a different style. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's a tough game to evaluate, so I'm not going to sit here and say Jalen played poorly. I don't think he did, actually. I think Jalen Hurts really had a great game. With the weather being the way it was, what did they do? They went to what they had to do. They ran the ball for over 200 yards. They thoroughly thought the game out. They had a great game plan, and they went out and won a game. They kept their poise and their patience, and then they ended up putting points on the board. Everything you need. Congratulations. You beat the Jags. Okay? Congratulations. You've beaten Washington. Congratulations. You've beat Detroit. And your most notable win, like I said, is the Vikings in the first quarter pole of the season. Everything you're expected to do, you did and have done. I'm not sure what you're expecting me to do here. 4-0, congratulations for not robbing a bank. You did your job. I'm not surprised. Wait a minute. I'll back that up. I am. I thought they'd get out to a slower start. And I didn't think Jalen was this. I didn't think he was this polished after the things that I was told in the offseason that he's done. He's done, and you could see it. He thoroughly thinks his way around the football field. He thoroughly thinks his way around that. Okay? He does. And he does all the things that it takes to win a ball game. No question about it. I thought that Doug Peterson's game plan was terrible. You're throwing the ball in the rain like that when you know that wasn't going to be an effective approach. And you got Trevor Lawrence holding on to the ball with one hand. I mean, ball security, they ended up having 5 turnovers. It was a poorly constructed game plan by Doug Peterson. That was terrible. I thought Sirianni had a good game plan. They did what was expected. Jalen made throws in the rain as well. Okay? They did. They made throws in the rain. They had to. Miles Sanders was spectacular. He was great. The numbers, 27 carries, 134, 5 yards a clip. Fantastic. Hassan Reddick decided to get off the bus. Congratulations to you. You did your job. The injuries are starting to show. I don't know if they're starting to be an impact yet. We'll see against the Cardinals. We won't know until the Cardinal game the impact of the injuries. And as I said to you, okay, 4-0 start. I'm there with you. Nice. Combined records, 5-9. I don't know. Okay? You're doing what you're supposed to do. If you're considered a Super Bowl team, why are you surprised? You don't think everybody's surprised that the Chiefs are 3-1, do you? When you're in the AFC, nobody's surprised the Chiefs because they're a Super Bowl contending team. You're expected to be there. Act like it. If you think you're a Super Bowl contender, that's how I'm. I guess I didn't really quantify that, did I, Xander? If we're talking like this football team's a Super Bowl team, act like it. Act like you've been there. Act like you belong there. Don't act like you're surprised over something. You sound like a team with no experience. You sound like somebody that's shocked in what you're seeing. When you see great football teams, don't be shocked. It's expected. That's how great teams talk. They're not surprised. They're surprised when they lose. Great teams are surprised when they lose, not when they win or get out to great starts. Like the Cardinals last year, getting out to that start they had. Or the Steelers year before, getting out to that 11-0 start. Everyone went like this. The Steelers aren't going to go anywhere. And they were 11-0. And I was going, the team will get bounced. They did. Okay? And they did get bounced. Eagles will be criticized all year by their weak schedule. Well, Joe, I've taken this, and I've said this before, Joe. I criticized the Patriots too, Joe. They never had to play anybody in the AFC East ever. During Brady's entire run, they never really had to. They never, I don't ever think, the Jets may have challenged them a couple times, the Dolphins one year. Reddick, a spy on Murray, that would be a disaster. That would be a disaster. Reddick spying on Kyler Murray. Holy cow. Would the Cardinals want that all night long? You think Hassan Reddick is going to be a spy on Kyler Murray? Dude, you need a DB on that guy. I wouldn't even put Michael Parsons on his ass. You need somebody with great speed to be on that guy. That spy. And by the way, I'm not spying him. I'm trying to contain him. That stupid stuff when people say put a spy on him. What do you think? It's Michigan versus Michigan State? You don't put spies on people in the NFL. You contain them. You don't want them to break the edges down on you and get outside of containment. You're trying to keep everything running back into the traffic of the middle of the field. The worst thing that can happen to a defense is if you break the edges down. And that's what this kid and Jalen does. They break the edges down. You don't ever want that. Jalen breaks the edges down on the majority of the defenses that he plays. He's a nightmare when he's in open space like that. Okay? Team spy in the league. Like who? Tom Brady? Lamar Jackson? How's that worked? How has spying on Lamar Jackson worked? Like who? You think Sean McDermott spied on him last week? That is a ridiculous comment. Murray's backyard ball won't work on this D. I agree. I think it is, man. I think that coach that they got in Arizona, in my opinion, okay, I think he's on the hot seat, man. You give a guy $46.1 million, you better win some ball games, dog. You better win some games. Okay? I don't think the Jags spied at all. They tried to keep him contained. Who was the spy? I missed that. I think Hopkins is still suspended. Okay? I still think he's suspended. You think Howie trades Miles Sanders before the trade deadline? Absolutely not. Okay? Absolutely not. He's on pace for 1,500 yards. He's been averaging 5 yards a carry. Why would you take that off your football field? Okay? Seals, if we play the Ravens, we're going to trash them. I don't believe that. Ravens play teams like the Dolphins, the Bills, and they're in every one of those games. You play tomato cans. Tomato cans. Those teams are legitimate Super Bowl contending teams every week. Little bit different. You're playing Buffalo, and you're playing some of these teams that are undefeated. Those teams in the AFC play hard schedules every weekend. Kyler's not fast. He's quick. He's different. Live, I don't think much of him. I really don't. I don't like his style of play. Okay. Let's go here now to week 4 of the NFL. Let's transition into this. By the way, I want to do this one more time. The Eagles are 4-0. Awesome. Awesome. Great game. I like the win. I don't care what it looked like. That's a shitty game to have to evaluate in the rain like that. You're missing my point. If you're a Super Bowl contending team, stop acting surprised. Why are you surprised? That's not a team that has confidence or its fans. Can you believe what this guy did? Okay. Nobody's surprised when Mahomes does anything. Nobody was surprised that the Chiefs went into Tampa and won. Nobody's surprised the Bills beat the Ravens. Nobody would have been surprised if the Ravens beat the Bills. Nobody was surprised the Bills beat the Rams. Nobody's surprised. Okay? Cardinals started out 7-0 last year. And they were like terrible down the stretch. Now listen, do I think the Eagles are last year's version of the Cardinals? No way. You have a more mature quarterback, and there's better talent on the Eagles than there are on the Cardinals. I don't think you're that team. I want to make sure you guys get that, okay? That you understand that. Okay? You hate to hear that you're wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong about anything I've said today. Okay? I'm not. You can keep Hassan Reddick as your pass rusher. I guarantee you, you think those 2 draft choices next year? Wait a minute. So you think he's taking a safety at a Texas A&M? Say they stick with Jalen. You think they're drafting a safety or an edge rusher? Who do you think they'll take? No, you're right. We have Hassan Reddick. Let's not take Will Anderson. Forget it. We got our guy. Will Will Anderson, I'm passing. Reddick's better. Because you guys say that Reddick's better than Chase Young and Micah Parsons. So he's got to be better than Will Anderson. Shit, the kid's only in college. He's a college kid. Right? So you got your guy, Reddick. Okay. I'll tell you what, man. It'd be the second biggest F up in the draft that Howie's had since he passed on Justin Jefferson. It'll take Will. I'll take Will, please, and thank you. Really? That kid's a force, man. Dude, hey, can I tell you this? I would vote for him for the Heisman if he continues. Hey, something really, I hate to do this. Wasn't a very good week for Alabama quarterbacks. Bryce Young now banged up. Yeah. Talking about another injured Alabama quarterback that's undersized. That doesn't usually translate into the NFL. Why would you draft a kid injured? The Dolphins are going through that. The Dolphins have to make a public, watch this. The Dolphins have to make a PR nightmare move. You know what that is? Guess what the Dolphins have to do right now? You ready? The Dolphins have to do this. They put a kid on the field that wasn't healthy enough to go on the field. Then they got to move off him. And somehow, PR-wise, convince people that they're doing it in the best interest. You remember I said this. We're doing this in the health of the player. That's how they're going to move off him. Tua Tagovailoa. You watch. We're doing this for the health of the kid. We think he should not play anymore. That's what they're going to do. Then they're going to collect their insurance policy money. Because you know everybody's got a Lloyd's of London policy. They'll collect their insurance on the deal. That's how the owner will get his money back on Tua. Collect all that money. All those quarterbacks have insurance on them. You know that, right? Catastrophic injury, which preludes them to play. They have insurance policies on these guys. Every organization has them. Okay? And there's no doubt, then they got to go into the public and they got to go, we got to move off the kid. Look at that PR nightmare. Then they're going to try to bring, I would think, Lamar Jackson down. That's what my wife said. Spike, Tua should sue the league, should own the Dolphins for putting his ass out there like that. It's criminal. It's criminal in its nature. Absolutely, I agree 100%. Just terrible, man, how they did that. Not cool. You saw in that Buffalo game, he wasn't healthy. They got to move off him. Bryce Young, okay, because I watched that Bama game. Boy, Arkansas came rolling back, and I watched him. He's so good. Hey, Xander, that running back that Alabama has who went for 200 yards on Arkansas, there was 2 70-yard runs he had. That kid is, I don't know what it is in Alabama with running backs. They got a shitload of them. That kid against Arkansas was awesome. Holy cow. When you watch Will Anderson play, dude, they're in right now in the top 5. They got a shot of landing that guy. Oh, yeah, but you guys want us on Reddit because he's your guy. Decided to get off the bus. He's good. Tua's a grown man. If he didn't think he could play, say so. You know, my wife and my kid said the same thing to me. You know what they said? They went like this. Dan, you saw the guy falling down. Don't you think if your coach had any kind of rhyme or reason into him, he would have said, nah, you know what? We're not putting that kid back in. There's got to be something of an eyeball test also that makes a judgment call on that. Instead of some dude with with like a thermometer in his hand trying to tell me what to do. You're around these men. You know when a guy's getting his ass kicked. Okay? And you know when a guy's had his ass kicked. Right? So, again, that's a terrible thing, man. Yeah, but you guys don't want Will Anderson. You got your boy. Oh, my God. Rams and 49ers. We'll do that in the final segment of the program. Tua literally did the Biden shuffle. Maniac. Not nice, man, but funny. Not cool. Not cool, dude. Funny, but totally not cool. Oh my God. The Biden shot. Oh my God, man. Too soon, Nick. Yeah, okay. Sills, you need to stream during Eagles-Cardinals game. Richie, they don't pay me enough to do something like that. And I mean anybody. Polly, look at Polly. Here's the quote of the day, Xander. Sills talks a lot of shit. Wow, this just in. Thank you, doctor. Hey, Polly, congratulations. Sills talks a lot of shit. Really? What gave that away? Yeah. Sills doesn't live stream during games. He tweets a bunch of inflammatory nonsense. Inflammatory nonsense? Right? Sills low-key hates me. Hassan, I think you're a lovely guy, man. I think you're good. I think you're kind of small, but hey, it's all good. My wife's short too. Oh, man. Sills still running gums. Dude, I've been running gums since I was a college player. You think what? You think the media made me do this? I've been talking shit. Hey, you see that thing I posted on my Twitter page? Saying like after all these years, I haven't played college ball in what? How many years? 35? 34 years? And they came out with a list of the most hated teams in the history of college football, Sports 24/7. My team's still number one. and I was one of the shit talkers on that team. What are you, crazy? Me and Jerome? Sills, you're only about 6'1.5". You're not the biggest guy. Well, Aaron Donald's 6 feet. You want to put that into context? Aaron Donald's 6 feet, 270. You're making it sound like Aaron Donald is this like gigantic 6'6" guy. He's not. He's 6 feet, and he's 270. Sills is a hater. All around auto, man. Keep it up, baby. Keep the spirit up. I love it. Short Kings. All right, I got to hit on week 4. I don't want to just do a couple of them here. I want to make sure that we get to all of them here. So, Xander, let's take a time out here. Hit the like button. Week 4, plus we'll talk about tonight's game. A little bit more on the next opponent, the Arizona Cardinals. What to expect when they take on the Cardinals. We'll do that next. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown's 5-day used car super sale. Jeff puts an end to high prices now. 5 days of the best car, truck, and SUV deals ever. Over 1,000 vehicles, every make and model. Stop overpaying. See Jeff today and get a quality car, truck, or SUV now. The 5-day used car super sale. Experience how easy it is to deal at Jeff's. Nobody treats you better. Nobody gives you more. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. GoJeffAuto.com.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at JAKIB. At DryTech, we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Hassan says that Phil's a good guy, but he just needs guidance. Hit the like button. Thank you very little. Oh, man. See, you know what I'm learning? People in Philly in the media don't talk to you this way, do they? No wonder Howard Eskin and Angelo won. And they can't replace them guys. No wonder. I get it now. I totally understand it. Makes sense. Hey, can you believe it? Look at those practice stats. This guy had 70 touchdowns in the summer. Unbelievable. Eagles are 4-0. Okay. Congratulations. Now start acting like a team that's a Super Bowl contender. Don't be surprised. Gee, act like you've been there or you're going there. Not that you're surprised you beat the Jags. I mean, like, can you imagine Kansas City being shocked that they walked off the field beating the Bucs? How do you think Andy Reid and the Chiefs walked off the field at Raymond James last night? Surprised? Or on to the next week? That's how championship teams act. They don't act surprised. Okay? The championship teams are surprised when they lose. Like, watch this. You know, I got an idea. You think that I'm going to dog the team when they lose. I'm not. I'll bury the lead here for you now. I'm not going to kill the team when they lose. It's part of football. It's how you lose. Like, look at the Jags. They were so reckless with the football in that game on Sunday. They needed to have better football security. There needed to be better play calling on Doug's coaching staff. That wasn't well thought out. The Eagles was. Jalen thought himself around the field and did a great job. Jalen's done a great job getting to 4-0. He has. Now, injuries are going to become part of this conversation soon. I don't know when. Because every guy that came in stepped up and stepped in. No passing TDs, Derek. Not a big deal. Not when you run the ball for 200 yards. You pretty much had control of the game. No passing TDs. Unless you're a fantasy guy, it's not a big deal. You can't really put an evaluation on a game like that yesterday. Rain, wind, shitty environment. You know, I'm talking elements. Plus you had Doug coming home. The whole deal, man. Look at 4th and 26. I honestly just want Dallas' face. Dude, that's it. You're dead on. Dude, you beat Dallas, then you take that refrigerator off your back. Then you start walking forward even more. This is like prelims. You know how sometimes you watch a UFC fight? They got a bunch of tomato cans that are fighting against one another till you get to the main event. Your main event's the Cowboys. That's your main event. Your main event is Dallas. It ain't the Jags. It ain't the Cardinals. It ain't any of these teams. It's Dallas. It's always been Dallas, and you've known that. Okay? Sills, the depth on your football team is the best in the NFC, and I say it to this day. 100%, 1,000%. Okay? Only if you could show what you said last week on Monday about the Jaguars, that they look good now. They do. They look good now. Doesn't mean they're great. Jesus criminy. Were you under some impression that I'm sitting here saying that the Jaguars are one of the better teams in the AFC? If it landed that way for you, then I'm wrong. I said they're better coached. And I was comparing what Doug did compared to what Urban Meyer did. Dude, read a book. Read a book. Jesus criminy. You're 4-0. Act like it. Bill's not a Super Bowl contending team. Really. But you are. Jesus criminy. Ugh. Undefeated 4-0. Let's see how far that takes you. Last 2 years, Steelers got out to 11-0 start. Cardinals got out to a 7-0 start. They were both sent packing. Bills are contending for the Super Bowl. I know, Derek. I'm literally here because Sills makes me laugh. Gigi, hey, watch this. So you think I'm a clown or something there? Okay. Hey, Donovan, they're on my ass because they know I'm right. They're on my ass because they know I'm right. What are you, crazy? I'm not wrong. There's nothing wrong here. Nothing. Wrong about the 2-4 start. Yes. A lot of ball to be played. A lot of football. A lot of football, baby. Cards were great till they lost Hopkins. Really? Were they? Were they great? If I thought of the Cardinals, the word great wouldn't be something I would tag with that. Great. You know? I wouldn't put great. Who is the biggest threat? Cowboys. By the way, it's going to be interesting to see what they do this week with Dak. They're talking about bringing Dak back for the Rams this week. And then he'll have a game before he plays the Eagles. I might just want Dak in there and not Cooper Rush. I think Cooper Rush is playing some good ball. Cowboys. Packers. Rest of them, I don't know. Probably in your schedule, Cowboys and Packers, you'll probably drop an unexpected game. It's not a biggie. Again, it's about if you win home field advantage. Who cares if you drop a stupid game? To say like the Steelers or the Titans, who cares? As long as you have home field advantage, nobody cares. Okay? That's not how I look at it. You lose a dumb game. Everyone loses a dumb game. Look at that idiotic Giants game. Daniel Jones beat Jalen last year. Do you hold that against them? Absolutely not. Okay? Daniel Jones beat Jalen Hurts last year. He's terrible. Miami Dolphins say Tagovailoa ruled out for a Week 5 game against the Jets. Really? Dude, Tagovailoa is not playing the rest of this year. What doctor's going to clear that guy? The Titans got 100-some-odd yards out of Derrick Henry. As a matter of fact, let's do that. Let's do that. As we know, the Eagles are 4-0. I'll get Rams and 49ers here in a minute. Falcons beat the Browns 23-20. How about the way the Falcons are playing ball? They're 2-2. Actually, both teams are 2-2. Browns hanging in there, though. God, if they get Deshaun Watson back. Holy cow, man. Wow. Dan Sills, do you think the Giants re-signed Danny Dimes? No, I don't. He's walking. They're going to move on. They'll go into the draft, and they'll get themselves a quarterback. That guy is not very good. Hey, man, I'm pretty impressed with Marcus Mariota down there with the Falcons. Way to go, dude. I don't believe he's the future of that football team, but way to go, man. And Deshaun Watson, he's got to be looking at this. We're 2-2 after the first 4 games of the season. Holy cow. And let's not forget, he doesn't come back the week of the 11th game. He gets to come back 2 weeks prior to go to practice. Like it's something like October I think he gets to come back in October, sometime late October, where he gets to come back and start practicing. It's not like that. Well, he's activated, then he played. That's not true. That's not how suspensions work. So, oof, dude, that kid's great. You talk about another primetime player. Sean Watson's a spectacular football player. Cowboys beat Washington. You talk about the biggest fool's gold team of all time. It's got to be the Cowboys. Look at how the media is gushing over how the Cowboys beat Washington. The Eagles destroyed that team. I mean, beat up. The Eagles not only beat Washington, they beat up the Washington Commander things. Okay? I mean, they beat that team up, and they're 25-10. Did you see how the Cowboys? I was like, man. Cooper Rush set, I think, 15 to 27, 223 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I actually like the kid, man. I do. Look at Dommy. Watkins is not it. Stop it. Yeah, that's right. That's probably why someone gave him $230 million in guarantees. You're right. He's not it. Every team in the league wanted him. You're right. Even, get this. Hey, Dommy 365. Can you imagine this? You have 25 to 60 sexual assault accusations against you, and still a team gave you $230 million guaranteed. You are one mother you-know-whatter. Whoa, you got to be great. Think how great you have to be to get a raise after just signing an extension with the Texans. Dude, you ain't doing that with a guy who's got a lot of heart. You're doing that for a guy that's got a lot of talent. You're not, hey, by the way, you think Deshaun Watson, hey, Xander, you think Deshaun Watson is being paid on intangibles? Hard work, first guy in, last guy, face of the franchise, good dude. You think he was paid on any of that? Really? You're going to pay a guy $46 million on that. You think that guy's paid on any of that shit? Okay. No, but he needs intangibles to win a Super Bowl? Okay. Yeah, because bad guys don't win, right? Okay. Man. You gave a guy with not one intangible that Jalen has $230 million in guarantees. My God almighty. I don't know about you, man. That guy's got to be all for good. Danny, I thought Aikman was a hater. You take I think that's cake. Why are you mad at Jalen for the type of man? I'm not. I just think you're crazy if you think you pay a guy in the NFL for that intangible. You don't. If that was the case, you don't give Aaron Rodgers $50 million. He's not the greatest teammate. You gave him $50 million guaranteed. It sounds good for the media and fans. Now, look, do I think you have to have a work ethic like Brady and Jalen? Yeah. But why are you rewarding somebody for something that should be a given? Why talk about something that's a given? There you go again, sounding like you're not a contender. Contenders don't do that. Talk about intangibles. Intangibles are expected. This guy's a great guy. Well, welcome to the world. This guy works hard. Well, welcome to the world. Oh, I mean, you give merit badges for things that are expected. Maybe in today's society, the common thing and the expected thing is hard to achieve. Maybe that's where we are today. That seeing somebody like Jalen is refreshing because we don't see it anymore. Okay, I could buy that. Okay, I could buy that. Okay. I can. And maybe that's probably where we are today then. And I'll give you that. And I mean that. You crush Rodgers for having one ring. I got news. That's all bad intangibles. Okay. Well, let's see Jalen win one. Let's see him win a playoff game first. Let's see what those intangibles do on playoff games. You think Matthew Stafford's a good guy? Matthew Stafford played 13 years in Detroit, had one playoff win. You think he had bad intangibles? You think he didn't show up first, last guy out, all that other stuff? He was nowhere near a Super Bowl. Got to a good organization, good players around him. That's what won a Super Bowl. That's what won the Super Bowl for him. He did the same shit in Detroit. He was the same guy in Detroit. The intangibles got him one win in the playoffs. I mean, talent wins playoff games, my friends. Saints have one win. Okay. That's a good thing. I hope Tua will be okay. So do I. It's a damn shame what the Dolphins and the NFL have done to that kid. Let's move on here. Seahawks beat the Lions. Oh, the great Lions team. 48-45. Hey, how about the way Rashad Penny? Hey, I'll tell you something about Pete Carroll. Way to go, coach. How come the Seahawks look better than the Broncos? And they got rid of Russell Wilson. Am I wrong when I say that? When I watch the Seahawks, I feel pretty good about what they're doing. Plus, they got draft choices from Denver next year. Who may get the last laugh in that may be the Seahawks. Pete Carroll don't look that stupid. Dude, the Broncos and Russell Wilson, you know who said the first time who said something about Russell Wilson? He's not sure about him anymore, was Xander Krause to me. And I said, you're dumb. And hey, Xander, you were right. You said this in the offseason about him. I don't know, Sills. Even before he got hurt and he hurt his hand, you really think he was playing good ball? Now you go back and you look at that. This has been a carryover, man. And this Nathaniel Hackett guy looks completely in over his head. Completely in over his head. Is it the coach or Russell Fly? I think it's both. How about the Seahawks, man? And Rashad Penny finally starting to pan out. The kid from San Diego State, 151, 2 touchdowns. Titans beat the Colts, 24-17. Derrick Henry, 114. Last 2 rushing champions were in that ball game. Close as I thought it would be. Giants beat the Bears. Barkley, 146 on the ground. Personally, in the NFC, I think the only guy that's playing really better than Miles Sanders at the running back position is Saquon Barkley. Barkley looks like he's back. We'll see if he lasts. The greatness of the Jets. How about the MILF Hunter, man? He was awesome in this game. They beat the Steelers 24-20. Zach Wilson, 18-36, 252. Since when did it become the benchmark now in Pittsburgh to make sure you don't have a losing record? I thought in Pittsburgh it was to win Super Bowls. So their standard is now not to have Mike Tomlin have a losing record. Dude, you might have to take a step back, put your first-round draft choice in, and go with him from there. Mitchell Trubisky is not it. Okay? 50% completion sounds low for Wilson, Zach Wilson. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Hoss. It was. They got to win, though, man. The Jets. Okay? The Jets. Beat a Steeler team. When's the last time you said that? Beat a Mike Tomlin team. Bills beat the Ravens. This is a pretty good football game. 23-20. Josh Allen, 19-36. 213 yards in that ball game. Both defenses played well in this game. This was a well-played game on both sides of the football. You got 2 quality players, 2 quality coaching staffs. That's really good stuff there, man. Ravens, though, wobble a little bit, huh? Late in ball games, they kind of wobble a little. Chargers bounce back. They beat the Texans 34-24. Justin Herbert, 27-39, 340 yards passing. I'll say this to you. Hey, Xander, that kid you like in Houston, my wife and I watched him play. What's his name? David Mills, the kid out of Stanford. I'll tell you what, man, you keep giving him more reps, the kid can play. He had some flashes in that ball game where you went like this. Holy shit. This kid can play, man. Oh, you don't like the guy? Okay. I tell you what, there were some bonehead plays in that game, but he's shown he's got a pretty decent arm. Pretty decent arm. Cards beat the Panthers. Murray 23 of 32, 207. It's about time for Baker Mayfield to be called this, a colossal bust. First overall pick, this dude sucks wildly. Wildly. Okay? I know the Texans lost to the Chargers. I thought he was pretty good, I said. Sileo hates Hurts and Reddick. I don't hate him. I just wouldn't want him on my team. That's not who I'd want as my franchise quarterback and my edge rusher. I don't know why you can't take that. I'd want somebody different. I'd want a person that could play 3 downs and be effective in every game they play in. I want a quarterback that's a 7-step guy, that's a traditional guy that wins ball games and Super Bowls and playoff games. I don't believe that running quarterbacks have a high ceiling. I think they're always hurt, and I don't think they have a longevity period. Patrick Mahomes is going to last longer than Josh Allen. Josh Allen will not last the career that Patrick Mahomes will. Now, some would say, Sills, what about Joe Burrow and Cincy? If I'm Joe Burrow, my contract's up, I get the F out of that city. And they better fix that O-line or I'm getting the hell out of there before you kill me. Okay? Packers beat the Patriots 27-24 in overtime. Rodgers, 21 of 35, 251 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So let me get this right. The media is all over Aaron Rodgers, and he's beaten in the last 2 weeks Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. See, man, you got to come up with all kinds of angles and shit just to shit on somebody. And they're 3-1. They're 3-1. They're barely winning games. Guys you never heard of at the wide receiver position. But there go the Packers again. Beating teams, winning games because you have a superstar quarterback. The last 30 years, they've had Favre and Rodgers. Okay? Favre and Rodgers. You're not going to lose a lot of ball games. Raiders beat the Broncos. And the Broncos look like dog shit. 32-23. Dude, Nathaniel Hackett? Nathaniel Hackett. Ugh. I don't get it. Then the Chiefs blow out the Bucks 41-31. I think the Bucks will be okay. But I thought they blew them out. I thought Andy Reid had a great game plan. 41-31. They took care of business. And the Chiefs look like they're back rolling again. Tonight's game, Rams and 49ers. I believe it's in San Francisco. Am I right, guys? I have the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo winning this game because they run the ball. And they're going to run the ball right down the Rams' throat. You want to hear something? I'm starting to think this about the Rams. You think the Rams make the playoffs? It is the NFC. They could probably get in with 10 wins. Does that look like a 10-win ball team to you? When you watch the way that the Rams have played the last couple weeks, you think that looks like a football team? Okay? You think that looks like a football team? That you go like this? Okay? Do you look at that and go, that's a 10-win team? Marcos, not at all. Do the Rams beat Dallas next week? It's in LA, right? I don't know. Hey, by the way, I'll say this to you guys. I think the Eagles are better than the Rams. I do. I think the Eagles could beat the Rams. I don't think they're very strong up front in their O-line anymore. That quarterback is being pushed around. The running game's not that hot. Has Aaron Donald played this year? By the way, could somebody do me a favor? Look up how many sacks Aaron Donald has so far this year. And someone would go, Sileo, Reddick is better because he has more sacks than Aaron Donald. Would you take Hassan Reddick over Aaron Donald. I mean, I love how people look at things. Stills, I have a question I need answered before the show is over. Should I have my wife's? Dude, I don't like cream of anything. Donald has 2 sacks. Reddick's playing better. Aaron Donald has 2 sacks. Reddick's better. Reddick has 3.5. He decided to get off the bus last week. Reddick is better right now. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not better right now. My goodness. Jeez. Hey, Patrick Mahomes didn't have the same passing yards that Justin Herbert did a year ago. Does that make Justin Herbert better than Patrick Mahomes? Or here's a better one. Jalen Hurts is not going to be evaluated by the numbers. He's going to be evaluated by the way he wins ball games and the type of games he wins. Beating Kirk Cousins, okay, great. Beating the Cowboys, that's where you're at. Jalen Hurts' record versus the Dallas Cowboys will be how you look at him. The same way you look at Donovan McNabb's losses in championship games, NFC championship games, and Super Bowls. That's how you look at him. You don't look at how many regular season wins he has, how many passing yards he has. You look at Donovan McNabb on what he did in championship games. Fell short. That's how you look at. How about this? McNabb is not revered more than Foles in Philly. He's not. Was he a better player? Yeah. Yeah. Just like in Green Bay. Rodgers is a better player than Favre, but he's not more revered than Favre. It's the way people look at it. And you. Okay? We don't look at Jim Kelly like that. Jim Kelly was a great ball player. Did something that you'll never see again in your life. 4 straight conference championship wins. I get the 4 straight Super Bowl losses too. I get that. But he was in 4 straight Super Bowls. You'll never see anybody in that ever again in your lifetime. The Bills did something you'll never see. And it's a shame. They never won one of those. Because all they needed was to win one of them. And it would have validated the whole thing. But because they didn't, just like Donovan McNabb's career is not validated because he never won anything. Warren Moon, same thing. Guys who fell short. Well, Dan Marino's 1-loss record will never be validated because he never won the big one. His career is validated with a Hall of Fame ring. But his winning as a quarterback, he fell short against Montana, of course. Can you imagine Montana? Montana beats Elway twice and Marino and beats an MVP in Boomer Esiason. Boomer was the MVP of the league that year. And Montana destroyed them all in Super Bowls. Destroyed them. It's like Michael Jordan. Sills, can you get Kelly on? As a matter of fact, Ryan, let me see if I can get Jim Kelly on tomorrow. Let's see if we can get him on. As a matter of fact, we should probably get Kurt Warner on because he lives in Phoenix and he loves that Cardinal organization. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if we can get, because Jim promised me that he would come on at the end of the month. So we're kind of like down here now. And yeah, tonight's game, I got the 49ers winning this ball game 28-20. I think they beat the Rams. They can run the ball. I think Nick Bosa's healthy. I think it's Joey that's out for about 11 weeks, man. But would you like Jake Plummer? I never thought of Jake Plummer. See what we can do. What old Jake the Snake there. I appreciate everybody, man. By the way, tomorrow Merrill Reese will be with us as he is each and every single week. We'll talk to the legendary voice of the Philadelphia Eagles. We appreciate everybody. Please hit the like button. We'll see you tomorrow going 3 to 6 Eastern, and we'll see you on the flip side.